All right, folks. My name is Renato Migliaccio, black belt, 50th degree, Sampa Jiu Jitsu. Making this video here for my students, my friends. They're asking me about this, all this stuff that's going around, what I think about it. And again, what I think is not the is my way to my perception of this stuff. I just give you some insights. This video will be uploaded to YouTube. Anyone can see that, but it's mainly, again, for my students. Okay. So let me share a little bit the screen here, and we're gonna talk about this stuff. Cool stuff, actually. I actually like everything that's going around, despite things that are not so respectful in a manner. But anything else, uh, pretty. I like pretty good because I believe it's how jiu-jitsu might evolve. Okay, so let me see here. Yes, all right. Let's start here. American Jiu-Jitsu versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, that's actually a cool thing in there. All right, so why BJJ? Let's go back to the history first, and why BJJ, right? Why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? I also know BJJ. Well, first they said this. They came in the United States. Oh, this new art, or it's called jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu is not new. They have that. The traditional jiu-jitsu is kind of like self-defense. Don't get me wrong. I like that a lot too. I like a lot being involved. But it's perceived to from people to as being it's perceived as being not so effective. All this stuff. Okay, so how come that could be good now? Oh, no, it's another one. Actually, it's not that one. It's called the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And that's how everything started. So they have to make a separation, because the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, that one on the ground, is it's the real deal. That wasn't right back in the day in the 90s. All right, got it. Okay, cool. But then came with some how you say I don't know the word to use in there, but you were not authorized to use the name Gracie, which again is okay. We're not here trying to judge anything. It's their name, they put in there, so you cannot use Gracie. All right, so we need to kind of still separate them from the old jiu-jitsu. Okay, let's call just Brazilian jiu-jitsu from these Brazilian guys coming here. All right, great. And now is coming American jiu-jitsu, and now could be a problem or not. And let me see what you guys think afterwards. Okay, so I like to see the stuff as the schools, right? I've been involved my first actually in judo that's how I came from. Then I engaged into jiu-jitsu, and I tell a little bit the story about that. But anyways, in judo, there is a school, Japanese school of judo, which is different than the Korean. It's the Korean school, which is different different from the ways the Russians do, the Cubans do, the Brazilians do. Brazilians may be more like the Japanese one. Do you understand? There are those styles in the specific, the Georgian judo, the Mongolian judo, all different, but they all come to as the same thing, and they all kind of make the sport get better. Volleyball was the same. The Cubans, I remember watching the Cubans against the Brazilians a long time ago, the American ladies and all this stuff. It's all volleyball. And that makes that rivalry cool, because today the Cubans win, the Brazilians will win next time, and then that's why we want to watch. And I'm going to touch more on the other slides. Boxing is the same thing, exactly the same thing. You have the Mexican school of boxing, Russian school, the Kazakh school, right? They're pretty good. You have the American school of boxing, the Cuban school of boxing, but they're all boxing. They do different things here and there, but they all boxing. Yeah. Wrestling, the same thing. The Russians train different than the way the Americans do. It's obvious to everyone here. Maybe not so for to someone. Let me take that back. But it's who is involved. It's obvious, and they unify. Even in wrestling now, the federation is called FILA now, is United Wrestling, because they want to unite, and that's the main goal, is to unite the stuff, not to break. Yeah. So going more here, the rivalry. I remember back in Brazil, way before me even was a jiu-jitsu against judo, right? But hey, right now there are some teams coming to Brazil to train jiu-jitsu, judo teams coming, national teams. And the funny thing sometimes happen because of this rivalry, which could be silly in a sense, could be good but silly. The judo guys, the Brazilian judo guys, are not not training with the jiu-jitsu guys. Yeah, so they have to. If national teams from other countries are coming to Brazil to learn jiu-jitsu, why wouldn't do you right there wouldn't do that? Yeah. So, but before, even before that, we see judo against jiu-jitsu in Japan, right? I mean, Brazil, bring the Japanese and all the stories, Kimura and Karo, all, cool stuff that many other people did, right? You have also I put here, but the Brazilian, right? The Brazilian jiu-jitsu against judo in Brazil, right? That little rivalry in there. Okay. Hey, I did judo. I remember. Hey, why are you doing jiu-jitsu now? Why are you doing this stuff? It was good. For me, it was good. I learned another art. I'm involved with that art. Then I learned to wrestling, other stuff, boxing, and I like to learn a lot of stuff. This is good. This is all competitiveness. This is all good stuff, right? Then came jiu-jitsu versus wrestling, and the ADCC was that. That's how it came. Let's bring the sambo guys, wrestling, and all this stuff. I also remember jiu-jitsu when jiu-jitsu was predominantly in Rio and also Manaus, but Rio was the strongest. And then started São Paulo, people started going strong, and then people from south of Brazil, like a state called Rio Grande do Sul, and many people. And that's what this rivalry. But hey, this rivalry is good. It's competitiveness. This is important for the growth of the sport. Okay, and okay here. So the competitiveness. Is imagine you go in there and it's called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. All right, maybe okay, maybe it's time to change. Let's call Jiu-Jitsu. All right, if that's what people are claiming. Okay, maybe sometimes because it's kind of known already by this, it's kind of hard, but it's a process. I'm not opposed to that process. We don't call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil, we call Jiu-Jitsu. So then you have the Americans, and then they have the Europeans, and they are winning the tournaments. And actually, I mean, of course, I can cheer for a Brazilian guy that I know of, right? But I'm pretty, let's say, fair or neutral, I would say, in I actually like when people from other countries are winning because that means it's growing. It's growing, and I live from this sport. I want this sport to grow. I wish this sport was as great as, it's hard to say, but the NFL, I would be in a way better position if this sport was great as the NFL. Yeah, I want this stuff to grow. Yeah, so then you have the Brazilians, then you have the Australians, the Asians coming. Predominantly some people in I would say in Japan and in Singapore. Correct if I'm mistaken in there, but hey, when it becomes popular in China, the Chinese, all this stuff. So look, NFL, NBA, they are the biggest, franchises in there. They have the leagues and they have their franchise. So they want all the franchise to be somehow competitive. If they are doing that, why we don't want to do this? Why we want to kind of break and separate and call this and call that? I hope that's not the point. I hope that's not the point of the discussion. American Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what's better? Hey, it's all Jiu-Jitsu, and we gotta grow. Okay, so now we have to unify to grow. Okay, I like healthy comparisons when we compare with good respect. Of course there is always going to be some trash talking in there. Some people will succumb to this behavior. I'm good with that. uh, don't like it much, but it's okay here and there, but cannot go through too much of that, otherwise you're going to evolve away from the martial arts. But we need unit. So Europe, for example, they create the community Europe, the European community. I'm sorry. Why? Because they realize when they break so much in little countries, too many little countries, they cannot be strong. So here comes community, European community. USA is a big country. That's why it's strong. And then you have this called the BRICS, right? Which is predominant from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, all strong countries. Which is, back in the day, they have they call some of the countries that start having some how you say development, some sort of development, getting some money. They have they used to call the Asian tigers, right? Now is the BRICS. The last is the BRICS. Okay, which again, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Why? Because they are predominantly a decent sized country. Of course, some are very big. South Africa maybe might be the smallest in that, with with a good, a significant, let's put this way, significant population. Could be a market for other countries. But people start realizing the importance of these countries. Why? Because they are big. And I think Jiu-Jitsu needs to be big. Division is death. We need to make the sport grow. Okay, guys, thank you so much. All right, I'll give you some. Subscribe to this channel. The people say I'll give you some how to get my contact information if you need. I will put it here, and would love to hear from you. Okay, info@sampabjj.com. All right, thank you so much. Bye bye.